Good morning, everyone, and welcome to week three of the 2024 New Year, New You free Zoom class. This week's class is all about financial goal setting and planning. If you don't know me, my name is Brittany, and I'm your financial coach. I have, for the last 8 years, worked alongside accountants as a payroll specialist. And outside of that, I get my financial coaching training through the Dave Ramsey group. So I am currently still enrolled in one of their programs. But yeah, so that's my financial background. And beyond my career, or I don't work, but I am a mom, a wife, mom to a four-legged creature, and an entrepreneur. So that is a little about me. So for today's class, don't mind that third little bullet point there, but for today's class, you'll just need a pen and pencil and something to write notes on. So before we jump into this, we're going to set an intention. What is your intention for today? This class is about planning and things like that, but close your eyes and set your intention. I want you to think about what do you want to gain from this class and how you feel right at this present moment. So we'll be silent for a little bit to give us space to set our intentions. Okay, hopefully you have an intention set, and let's begin. So there are 10 reasons that I deem that you should financially set goals and plan. One is because you need direction and purpose. The importance of direction and purpose is that this financial goals give you a clear direction and purpose of your money, right? So if you don't want to just make money and it's just there, you want to have a plan and a purpose for your money. The benefit is that your direction and purpose serves as a roadmap guiding your financial decisions and actions. It ensures that each step aligns with your um, all your whole objective. So whatever your objective is, that your direction, your purpose follows that alignment to help you get there. Okay. So motivation and discipline. The discipline is a really, really important thing there. So the importance of motivation and discipline is that if you're setting your specific financial goals, it creates the motivation. So if your financial goal is to save $20,000, you're going to be like, okay, so my goal is to save $20,000. You'll be motivated to cut spending or to do intensive saving or pay off debt or something to reach that goal. So you're very motivated when you have a goal. The benefit is having a target to work towards instills discipline and encourage consistent effort, especially during challenging times. So if you have this goal of saving $20,000 and you hit all these hard times or things are not going right, you will have the motivation and a discipline to keep going because it can be very, very hard. You have to the pri- to, sorry, I can't I'm stuttering today. Prioritizing your spending. The importance is your financial planning helps you prioritize spending. So if you were a part of any of our other classes, the first class we talked about budgeting, uh, and the second class we talked about debt. So spending is a huge part of everything financial goals, right? So if you're spending all the money you have or that you're getting, then how do you set financial goals? How do you save if you're spending everything you get? So um, looking at your spending, which we spent an entire class talking about, is really, really important to help set your goals. One of the benefits is identifying and prioritizing your goals. You can allocate resources effectively, ensuring that money goes towards what matters most to you. So this allows you to say, okay, I have this money over here and I need to move it here because that's going to help me reach my goals and it's important for you. It's an important part of your financial goal and planning. Emergency preparedness. This is really important because a lot of people are not prepared when, I don't know, things go haywire, like their car isn't working or an appliance, a big appliance at home stops working or something. Um, Having emergency preparedness. Planning, financial planning includes building an emergency fund. This fund provides a safety net protecting you from unexpected expenses without derailing your progress towards larger financial goals. So you have this whole entire plan, your budget is going good. If you created a budget, one thing in your budget should be an emergency fund. Um, that way, something does happen, a car issue happens, or something happens at home, it won't stop you from reaching your goals and continuing your plan. Debt management, we had our last class was about that. The importance of debt management is financial planning addresses your debt repayment. So in the last class, we talked about how you will pay or different methods of repaying debt. So financial planning helps you recognize that you have debt and then talk about or realize what type of repayment you want to do. The benefit that it helps create strategies for managing and reducing debt, preventing it from becoming a hindrance to your financial success. So planning, really anything, not even financial planning, but planning a vacation. If you have all of your ducks lined up, all of your I's dotted, and your T's crossed, it just helps your vacation go smoothly. Well, financial goal set and planning is the same thing. Saving and investing. Planning includes saving and investing for the future. Again, we talked about that in the first and second class. Creating your budget, seeing everything in black and white, savings and or investments should be a part of that. Saving and investments generate wealth over time, ensuring financial security and enabling you to achieve long-term goals. Okay. So a part of your budgeting, as far as like actually paying off debt and putting things into emergency fund, saving should definitely be a part of it. Not only do we have bills to pay, but saving is good too. If we have plans for retirement at some point, hopefully, a big part of retirement is you have to put money into that savings account or that fund. Well, you can't do that if you don't have any goals or any financial planning happening. Adaptability and change. Financial planning accounts for changes in circumstances. So one of those circumstances, it could be you got a new job, you're making more money now. Um, Now you have all this extra money that's more than what your budget has. So now we got to figure out where to allocate those new funds from your job. Another circumstance is you get a new job or you're in your current job, you're making less money, less hours. They're doing cutbacks or whatever at work. So you went from 40 hours a week to 20 hours a week. You have to be able to adapt to whatever your circumstances or your changes are and plan accordingly. So being able to adapt allows for adjustments and modification to your plan based on evolving goals, economic conditions, or personal situations. Again, um, the way everything's going now, how highly inflated food is, will be an economic condition. You have to adjust and be able to adapt your plan to modify for those changes. Financial independence. The importance is goal setting fosters financial independence. Point blank, bottom line. So any type of, even setting up your budget is set or preparing you for financial independence, right? So right now you don't have a budget. Money is going all over the place. You just have no control. It's like trying to wrangle in a herd of cats. Um, by having just creating a budget and knowing where your money is going and you having control of that, you're already taking the first step to financial independence. Everything after that is just extra. Important things, but just extra. But having that budget in place is your first step to financial independence. Achieving your financial goals provides a sense of freedom, allowing you to make choices based on personal values, right? Rather than things that you have to do. So things that you value. So if you value, um, let's say giving, you give to your church or you give to a community or whatever the case is, whatever is important to you, your financial freedom will allow you to do that. Wealth building. The importance is planning helps build wealth over time. If you are in a situation now where you're living paycheck to paycheck, you don't have the opportunity to build wealth, right? Because you're living paycheck to paycheck, you're not able to put anything away. You're not able to save or build a retirement or investment fund. So your planning and your goal setting is going to help you build wealth. By saving and investing, excuse me, you can accumulate assets, creating a foundation for a more prosperous future. Planning and goal setting gives you a peace of mind, which this is number 10, but is very, very important. How many of you, and you can put comments in the chat box, but how many of you have credit card debt or any kind of debt really that is very overwhelming and you can lose sleep over it or you have lost sleep about it? Drop your comments in the chat box. Financial planning and goal setting is important because now you don't have to worry about, oh man, I am way over my credit card limit, or I haven't been able to make a payment. So now my interest fees and my late fees are going to be intact. And now I got to pay this and I got to pay that and blah, blah, blah. So it gives you a really great peace of mind knowing that you at least have some type of handle on your finances. So knowing that you have a plan in place to meet your financial aspirations reduces stress and fosters a sense of security. 100%. You can have $100,000 in debt. As long as you have a plan and you have a plan on how you're going to repay it, and you have a budget in place so you're not missing sleep about, am I going to be able to afford groceries next week? You have all of that taken care of. So if you have your debt under control and everything else under control, you just have um, this overwhelming sense of, I got it. I can handle this. So doing all of this, setting your goals and your planning helps with your mental health, which is extremely important. So we're going to talk about how to set SMART goals, and not just SMART goals like, oh, I'm smart, but they're acronyms, okay? Um, the S.M.A.R.T goal setting framework is a popular and effective method for creating well-defined and achievable goals. Each letter in SMART, S-M-A-R-T, represents a characteristic of a well-structured goal. So creating your SMART goals is a framework for goal setting. So everyone who registered for class, you should have gotten a worksheet for this as well. S means specific. S means specific. Clearly define the goal. Think of a goal and define it. Answer the questions. What do you want to accomplish? Why is it important? And how will you achieve it? Okay, so that's the S in SMART. M is measurable. Establish concrete criteria for measuring progress. Ask yourself questions like, how much? How many? How will I know when the goal is achieved? Okay, so this could be things like, how much money? Like, my goal is to save $20,000. How many? How many months will it take me to reach that $20,000 goal? And then how will I know when that goal is achieved? Well, obviously, when you get to that month, if you say, okay, 12 months, I want $20,000. When it gets to that 12 month, do you have that 20 grand? So M is measurable. A is achievable. Ensure that the goal is realistic and attainable. Don't set a goal like, oh, I want to get $1 million in 2 months. I mean, not saying that that's not attainable, but is it realistic? Are you in the situation where you're going to have $1 million in 2 months? Set realistic and attainable goals. Consider your resources, skills, and constraints. Is the goal challenging but still possible? So $1 million in 2 months may not be like, nope, that's not happening. But look at what your current climate is. Where are you working? Are you able to pick up extra shifts? Do you have skills that can help you get to that $1 million mark in 2 months? If not, then your goal is unrealistic. We maybe need to scale that back a little bit and think of another goal that's more realistic and attainable. The fourth letter in your SMART goal framework is relevant. Make sure the goal matters and aligns with broader objectives. Is the goal worthwhile? Does it meet your needs? Does it align with your other efforts and goals? Okay, so if you have a goal, if one of your goals is to buy a Lamborghini, I mean, that's not a crazy goal, but if your goal is to buy a Lamborghini, but you still have a lot in house payments, does buying that Lamborghini, is that a relevant goal? Does it make sense to buy a car that can be upwards of $500,000, but you still have house payments? You're making these tiny house payments. What does that goal align with broader objectives? What is your objective? If it's just to buy a Lamborghini, then have at it. But if you want to pay off the house and you want to pay off these cars and you want to do this and you want to have retirement money, just make sure everything aligns together. The last letter in SMART is time bound. Set a specific time frame for achieving the goal. Specify when the goal will be accomplished. This creates a sense of urgency and helps with time management. So if, again, we talked about the $20,000 in a year, not, unrealistic, but I guess also for me, time bound could be a lot of manifesting too. I'm putting into the universe, I want $20,000 in 12 months. I want to have $20,000 by a year from now. Write down, make sure you put in this amount of time, this is when this is going to happen. Because now in your brain, you have, okay, I got 12 months to get this done and $20,000. Okay, that's so much money per month. All right, how can I do that? So then it's creating this urgency in your head. So you're like, okay, I got to get on track. I got to be really good with time management. So setting that time bound really helps with that. By using the S.M.A.R.T criteria, you can transform a very vague idea into a clear and actionable goal. So here's a good example. Your vague goal is, I want to save money. Well, we all want to save money, right? Um, for one, you don't want to have a vague goal. You don't want to just, I want to save. I want to save. I want to pay this off. I want to do that. You want to say, I want to have this in this amount of time because of this. So your SMART goal, to turn that vague goal into a SMART goal, it says, I will save $5,000 over the next 12 months by setting aside $417 each month into a dedicated savings account. This is important to me because it will serve as an emergency fund, providing financial security in unexpected situations. That whole sentence there is a SMART goal. That's what I want you to come up with. I want you to come up with one SMART goal, but it needs to be very detailed using the S.M.A.R.T criteria. Okay. So instead of just saying, I want to save, think of it, I want to save this amount by this time by doing this and putting it this place. This is important because, okay? If you did get the worksheet, I believe that this particular slide is on there to kind of show you what a really good SMART goal is. And if not, I can send this out to you. Just let me know in the chat box if you will want this sent to you. So, and this is some homework, and you should have gotten this too. If not, we will send it out. So, setting SMART goals, your goal statement, okay? A clear and concise statement for your goal. Then you're going to do your specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound. And I did put on there the questions you should ask yourself to make this goal. One thing that we really didn't talk about was the action plan. Break that goal down into smaller tasks, obstacles and solutions. Write down potential obstacles that might hinder your progress. Progress tracking. Create a system for tracking and measuring your progress. And one thing I do want to talk to you guys, one thing I do kind of want to mention that if you have this goal, I'm going to go back a little bit. This goal here, I will save $5,000 over the next 12 months by putting 417 in each month. Celebrate those goals. Okay, so let's say 6 months, you're halfway through your $5,000 goal. Celebrate that. Give yourself a pat on the back. It's okay. It's like, oh, well, I'm not quite at $5,000 yet. I'm at 2,500. It's okay. Celebrate those small accomplishments because it's still an accomplishment. So plan how you would celebrate when you achieve your goal. When you get to that $5,000 goal in the 12 months, celebrate it. This should be a small reward or acknowledgement. Even if you do something like, okay, I'm going to make sacrifices for 12 months. I'm not going to go to Starbucks. I'm not going to go get my nails done or whatever, you need to do to help reach your goal. Maybe once you get to that $5,000 or whatever your goal is, give yourself a small reward. Maybe treat yourself out to a coffee. You've done a lot of work in that year or that time period. Give yourself a reward or acknowledgement. It's okay. Reflection. Reflect on your progress. As you're checking in and you're doing your progress tracking, reflect. Go, okay, is this goal, is this a good goal? Am I on the right track? Am I put enough? Is this enough? Maybe once I reach this goal, my next goal, could I double the progress? So just reflect on how things make you feel, make your adjustments that you need to make, and remember to celebrate. That's important. So here's an example of a very detailed SMART goal. The goal statement is I want to pay off $5,000 in credit card debt within the next 12 months to improve my financial well-being and reduce stress. Okay, so we specified everything. Specification, what exactly do you want to accomplish? Well, I want to pay off 5,000 in credit card debt. Why is this goal important? To improve financial well-being and reduce stress. How will you achieve it? By allocating additional funds for my monthly budget and seeking opportunities to increase income. That's a very, very, very specific goal. Measurable. So how will you measure this progress? I will check my monthly credit card balances. What are the specific criteria for success? Complete payment of $5,000 within 12 months. Achievable. Is the goal realistic and attainable? Yes, with a carefully planned budget, which I'm preaching that budgets are really important, and potential income boost. Do you have the necessary resources and skills? Yes, I can adjust my budget and explore additional income streams. Relevant. Why do you want to achieve this goal? To improve financial well-being and reduce stress, which is part of the specific. Does it align with your broader objective and values? Yes, it aligns with my goals of achieving financial stability. Is it the right time to pursue this goal? Yes, addressing credit card debt will positively impact my overall financial situation. So your goal of paying off the $5,000 in credit card debt is very relevant to your situation because that's what this person needs to do. Time bound, what is the deadline? 12 months from today. Are there any interim deadlines or milestones? Monthly payments to track progress. How will you manage your time to reach the goal? I will set a monthly budget and regularly review your progress. So this example of setting your S.M.A.R.T goals is very realistic. So this $5,000 in credit card debt in a year is not a crazy amount of money to pay. Some people pay $5,000 a month in credit card debt. But if that's not your situation, paying $5,000 in a year sounds better. Okay. So just taking a piece of paper and a pen and writing your S.M.A.R.T goals and how you plan to do that will help. And this part here is the action plan. The answers are not on here, but you guys should have this page too. Everyone should have been sent this page. So let's talk about financial planning and what that roadmap looks like. So you'll see that this little image here, there's 9 different stops that we need to make along financial planning. It's a cute little car here. So first first stop, sorry, of the roadmap is clarity and focus. The importance of it is planning brings clarity to your financial objectives. And budgeting for that, a budget serves as a financial plan, clearly outlining income, expenses, and savings goals. It provides a snapshot of your financial situation and ensures that your resources are aligned with your priorities. So, sitting down, figuring out your roadmap, your game plan, basically, just bring some clarity to, okay, what am I doing? Why am I doing this? How am I going to achieve it? Second stop, goal setting and prioritization. That's basically what this whole class is about. It helps, or planning helps set and prioritize financial goals. That's why we're here. That's why we're doing this. That's why you have a budget and you have this roadmap. It's because you have financial goals that you need to reach. Through budgeting, you can allocate specific amounts to different goals, whether it's paying off debt, building an emergency fund, or saving for a major purchase. This ensures that each goal, excuse me, this ensures that each goal is given the attention it deserves. Stop number 3 is resource allocation. Planning optimizes the use of available resources. I worked with a client once who claimed that she couldn't pay me for my services of helping or doing financial coaching with her. And I told her, I said, I bet you if we can find extra resources in your budget, when we're doing your budget, if we cannot find extra resources, then I will coach you for the next 2 months for free. If we can find extra resources, I will only charge you half of my services, right? Because she thought really she could not afford me and that she doesn't know that if she can afford anything. And so I'm like, well, we'll see. Let's see. Let's work together. If we can't find it, we'll do it for free. But if we can find it, I will still only charge you half. So either way, she was getting a deal. Um, but creating your budget does help you find that, oh, I have an extra $500. I didn't realize that I had that extra money because I'm too busy spending it at restaurants or other things. Um, so the budget guides the allocation of your money. It helps you and it tells you where you're putting your money or where your money's going, helping you avoid overspending and direct funds towards saving, debt, and repayment. It ensures that every dollar has a purpose. Not even dollar, not dollar. I would say every penny that you have should have a purpose. I kind of mentioned this in my last class, so if you were there, you kind of heard this. So I'll say it again. Um, at my actual job, we get paid weekly, and I actually get a paper check. When I take my check to the bank, I give the bank teller a little slip, and I have on the bottom, because my check is the same every week. Um, on the check it says check total is this amount, down to the penny. Actually, my check does fluctuate by a penny, but it does state that on the slip, like it will either end in 16 cents or it will end in 17 cents. Um, but I have I don't know how many savings accounts we have, but I have an account for transportation, account for utilities, one account for mortgage, one for groceries, one for medical, one for my dog, one for savings. We have checking. There might be more. I can't quite think of it right now. But when I give her my check, I also give her that slip, and I tell her, okay, this amount needs to go into utilities. This amount needs to go into mortgage. This amount needs to go into groceries account. So every single penny that's on my check is accounted for. Okay. So give your money a job. Don't just deposit your check and just let it be into checking. Don't just let it sit there and you're like, whoa, I got money. I'm going to go spend, 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 spend. If you give your money a job, then you won't ever have to worry about anything because you're allocating money to for your mortgage or your rent, and you're allocating money for your car when you have car problems. You're allocating your money to your grocery account. So when you go to the grocery store, you don't have to worry. It's there. Okay. So every dollar, every penny, really, I should cross out that dollar. Because we're not above pennies, okay, people? But every penny has a purpose, and you, the person, the human, should give that those pennies and those dollars purpose in a job. Stop number 4 is emergency preparedness. Planning includes preparing for unexpected expenses. It just, things happen, crap happens. Budgeting involves setting aside funds for emergencies, creating a financial safety net. This ensures that unforeseen circumstances don't derail your progress towards your goal. Excuse me. So we're at stop number 4, and we're like, oh, everything is great. All my goals are going according to plan. Boom, all of a sudden, I don't know, something in your car. Your car starts making a click, 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 click noise. Oh, what is that, man? Now I got to take my car to my car people, and we got to figure out what this ticking noise is. That's just one little speed bump. But guess what? You have money put away in your transportation account. So you go and you've been budgeting for, I don't know, a couple of years now, even a couple of months, and you have, let's say, $600 put away. Well, now you have $600 that you can use specifically for your car, and it's not going to derail anything else that you've got planned. It is not going to derail you from paying off that $5,000 in credit card debt. It doesn't hinder you from doing anything else because you've planned for it. Budgeting involves setting aside funds for emergencies and creating that net. The safety net helps. Putting money away. So create that budget, allocate money for transportation. So when something does happen, you're set. Debt management. That's what the last class was about, but it keeps coming up because it's all a part of financial planning and setting goals. Planning addresses debt repayment. Last class, we talked about different structures or different methods of paying off debt. There was like the snowball method, the avalanche method. There's a bunch of different things. So figuring out how much debt you have and how you're going to repay that back is a big part of planning for your future. And again, savings and investments. Planning fosters a habit of saving and investing. Again, creating your budget helps you allocate funds towards those specific goals. So if your goal is to put money away in your savings and invest in your 401k, planning will help you do that. Setting your budget will say, okay, well, I can put this amount towards my saving and this amount towards my 401k. Budgeting helps you set aside certain amounts of money for savings and investments. It helps you build wealth over time. Planning and goal setting helps set financial discipline. A budget requires you to stick to predetermined spending limits, promoting discipline and curbing impulsive financial decisions. So if you have your budget intact and you're like, this is what I make every 2 weeks or every week from work, I have to put a certain amount of monies into these certain accounts. It gives you that discipline, like, oh, wait, I guess I can't go and spend all this money at the mall because I don't have any extra money. So it instills a really good type of discipline, like, oh, I can't just go swipe, swipe, swipe at all the stores. Um, so this discipline acts as a financial roadmap guiding your day-to-day choices. So if you have no money in your account, you can't go spend. You have no pocket money, or if you didn't give yourself an allowance, you can't go spend. So you have to rethink your budget and, okay, how can I be able to save, reach my goals, but also continue to live life? Progress tracking is stop number 8. It's important because planning allows for you for monitoring and adjusting. So what excuse me, what works for you in January may not necessarily work for you in February. And what works for you in February could work for February, March, April, May, but come the end of summer, it may be different. So keep tracking your progress, keep looking at your budget, and make adjustments as needed. Regularly reviewing your budget allows you to track your progress, identify areas for improvement, and make adjustments as needed. It ensures that you stay on course towards your financial goals. Our last stop on our roadmap is motivation and accountability. Um, Planning provides motivation. It also holds you accountable. So you have this plan, you did all this work that I'm giving you, you wrote down your SMART goals and you did your budget. Sorry, excuse me. And you wrote down how you're going to, your debt repayment method. You're doing all of this stuff. And it's going to be kind of hard to stay motivated. But a budget is your visual representation of your goals. Um, and seeing it in black and white helps with motivation. It helps, like, okay, I got to do better, or I got to do, or I can do this, or this is good for me, or, but it gives you that motivation. It also holds you accountable because you're looking at it in black and white. You're like, oh, I really didn't do well that month, or I really didn't do good that week. I need to do better. So it holds you accountable because it's now making you look at your financial decisions, encouraging you to have better money management. Okay. So everyone who registered, I did send you this monthly budget worksheet. So this is, we kind of talked about doing a budget the first class in January. So this here is just a simple, basic monthly budget. So you would print this form out every month, and we're going to write down. First, we'll start with our income. We're going to write down what is our salary for the month. If you have any additional income, if you have 1 or 2 additional income, or you can add it all up and just put it here. But you want to have your total income. Here, you want to look at your expenses. This is a big part of your budget. You want to be able to know and recognize all of your expenses. This list here may not have everything that you have. This is just very basic expenses. If you have anything else, feel free to write them down. But, if I mention something, or if I did not mention some things that you have, definitely write them down and add it to your expenses. But this is just basic. So housing, your rent or mortgage, utilities, insurance, your transportation, your car, gas, maintenance, groceries, dining out, savings, if you have an emergency fund, retirement, or any miscellaneous savings. Excuse me, if you have to pay health insurance, if you take medications that cost a lot of money every month, listed here. Any other debt, credit card, If you have multiple credit cards or entertainment, okay, list your total expenses. And the easiest way for you to do that is look at your last couple of checks, bank statements. If you are an advocate user of their debit card, go on your banking app and print out the last 2 months of transactions. And this will help you really see, okay, this is what I'm spending. This is my credit card payment. This is my rent or mortgage payment. This is how much and it doesn't have to be to the penny, but you can estimate because utilities do change. Gas that you use in your car every month, it does change, but it'll give you more of a close number if you pull up your bank statements. So you'll have your total expenses here. So to find your net income, you're going to take your total income that was here, and you're going to subtract your total expenses, and you're going to put that on the line here. Sorry. If your net income is on a positive side, okay? So it's not like a negative $100. Excuse me. That means you have a surplus of money. You have extra money. If you have your total income and your total expenses is more than that, then you'll have a negative, which means you have a deficit. That means we need to revisit our expenses and see where we can make changes, cut back on some of our spending, or we need to talk about or think about what can we do to bring in more money. But I think the first thing you need to do is check here. We need to look at what are we spending money on? Why is it more than what we're bringing in every month? How can we fix that? This income should be more than this expenses here. That's what we're going to work towards. Then I have a note here. If you do have a surplus of money, allocate that surplus to your savings or debt repayment. Okay. Put that money away. Put it away or pay off some debt. And then there's a spot here for some notes if you have it. Okay. Now that we've talked about planning and how to plan and how we can include our financial planning in our budget, let's close our eyes right now. I want you to visualize yourself successfully achieving on all of your financial goals, every single last one of them. Visualize yourself successfully achieving all of your financial goals. What does that look like? What does it look like when you have successfully achieved your financial goals? How do you feel now that you are there? Now that you're there, you're in your financial goal place, and you feel amazing because you've worked hard to reach those goals. You've done the work. You've sacrificed. You edited your budget. You made more money. You cut back on expenses. You've paid off all your debt, and now things are good. If that takes you to a really good place, isn't that good motivation to help you reach that goal or to help you even start that journey to get to that point? I don't know, definitely not me. I don't ever want to be in a situation where I'm not happy or my financial well-being is stressing me out. I don't want to be there. I want to be at a point in my life where I have no debt. Everything's good. I'm making more money than I'm spending as far as like my everyday things. Um, that will make me feel great. So now taking these classes, doing this work right now is the first step to reaching that euphoric feeling. Okay. So I wanted to share with you guys a tool that I've used. And this is just like a screenshot of an example of one. So the Dave Ramsey Group offers like a budgeting. If you're an app type of person, you like to do the digital app. It's called Every Dollar. So You can find it at www.everydollar.com. That's EVERYDOLLAR.com. There's a paid version of it and then there's a free version of it. But it's basically a digital budgeting software. Okay. So you'll be able to put in your income and then you'll be able to track your expenses, and it kind of just shows you where you're at. Excuse me, it kind of shows you where, if you have a surplus or a deficit every month, and you can go in and you can make transactions and all that stuff. So it's a really cool tool to use. Sign up for the free version. If there's things in the free version, like, oh, I actually want to do more, I want to work with or ask a coach a question and do all these other things, then there is a monthly fee for this app. Or if you have a budgeting app that you guys like to use and you have a free version of it, please share with our other like-minded individuals that come to this class or that's watching this video. So if you don't mind, drop those comments of those apps that you use in the chat box, and I can share that with everyone. But this is definitely one of those good apps if you're an app type person. So everydollar.com.